The first episode of Attack on Titan is a powerful depiction of humanity's confrontation with an unstoppable, incomprehensible force that strips people of their illusions of safety and control. The story begins by introducing us to a walled city where humanity has isolated itself from the Titans, massive, human-like monsters who devour people without reason or warning. The walls represent humanity's attempt to create an orderly, controlled environment, a fragile sanctuary where generations have grown up believing they are protected. This sense of security, however, is revealed to be an illusion. In a single instant, the appearance of the Colossal Titan, a creature so vast it towers over the walls themselves, shatters not only physical defenses but also the psychological fabric that holds the society together. At the heart of this episode is young Eren Yeager, whose initial restlessness and yearning to explore the world beyond the walls stand in stark contrast to the complacency of those around him. Eren is dissatisfied with the passive acceptance that life within the walls represents. He looks at the society around him and senses its fear-driven resignation, its unwillingness to confront the dangers that lie beyond. This speaks to a universal desire for agency and authenticity, a belief that one's existence should not be confined by fear and imposed limitations. When Eren challenges this passivity, his yearning for freedom takes on a deeper significance. Yet, the Titan's attack quickly transforms this desire into something darker and more desperate. When the Colossal Titan breaches the wall, it is as though the community's worst nightmares have come to life, literally crashing through the structures that were supposed to protect them. The Titans represent an existential threat. They are forces of nature, embodiments of pure chaos that defy human logic or understanding. The horrifying scene that follows, citizens scrambling to flee, the walls crumbling, and, ultimately, Eren witnessing the brutal death of his mother, is a profound exploration of helplessness and trauma. Eren's mother is not just killed, she is devoured in a way that is both terrifying and symbolic. The Titans don't simply destroy, they consume, embodying the kind of dread that goes beyond death to evoke fears of annihilation, of being erased by an uncaring force. As Eren watches his mother die, he experiences a traumatic rupture in his perception of the world. He is forced to confront not just the death of his mother, but the loss of his entire framework for understanding reality. His scream in that moment is raw and unfiltered. It is an outpouring of grief, horror, and rage, a primal response to a world that has suddenly become hostile and incomprehensible. Trauma has a way of freezing individuals in the moment of crisis, and Eren's reaction is one of helplessness that becomes internalized, manifesting as guilt and fury. He could do nothing to save his mother, and this helplessness is a wound that begins to reshape his entire sense of self. This is the origin of what will drive him forward, an all-consuming desire to destroy the Titans and avenge his mother, which becomes the foundation of his identity. Yet, alongside Eren, we see Mikasa, his adoptive sister, who reacts in a strikingly different way. While Eren's emotions erupt violently, Mikasa remains almost unerringly composed. Her response shows a tendency toward emotional numbness, an attempt to distance herself from the unbearable pain of loss. Mikasa's quiet determination in this moment reflects a kind of survival strategy, an ability to compartmentalize, to put aside emotions in order to protect herself from the impact of the tragedy. She embodies a resilience that is not about bravado or heroism but a quiet, internal strength. This stoicism contrasts with Eren's expressive fury, revealing the diverse ways people react to trauma. Whereas Eren's identity is reshaped through his determination for revenge, Mikasa's is fortified by her ability to endure without surrendering to despair. The Titans themselves, these massive, mindless entities, are more than just antagonists, they symbolize a force beyond human comprehension, an embodiment of existential dread. Their humanoid form and mindless aggression make them disturbingly familiar yet completely alien, presenting a danger that humanity cannot fully understand or control. In encountering the Titans, the people within the walls are forced to confront a fundamental, terrifying truth about the universe, that it is unpredictable, often hostile, and indifferent to human suffering. In this sense, the Titans are not simply physical threats but representations of a universe that operates beyond human morality or logic, a universe that will destroy without reason or remorse. This realization destabilizes the townspeople and ignites widespread fear, panic, and even irrational behavior as they struggle to comprehend the reality that has shattered their lives. Moreover, the invasion of the Titans doesn't just affect Eren and Mikasa, it reverberates throughout the community, creating a collective trauma. The inhabitants of the walled city share in the horror and helplessness, and the breach of the wall represents a rupture in the communal psyche. The fear that once lay dormant has now surged to the surface, and the social order begins to break down. Scenes of people fleeing, children crying, and families being separated reveal the depths of despair that the Titans evoke, turning what was once a structured society into a chaotic mass of individuals focused solely on survival. This collective trauma has a binding effect. People are united by shared suffering, but they are also driven apart by the primal urge to escape and survive. The breakdown of social cohesion is a realistic portrayal of how communities react to sudden, overwhelming crises, where the priority shifts from maintaining social order to individual survival. In the aftermath of his mother's death, Eren's transformation becomes the focus. Where before he was a restless, curious boy, he is now driven by a singular purpose: to destroy the Titans. His fury and determination are not just reactions to his loss but the formation of a new identity. Eren's obsession with vengeance is both a coping mechanism and a purpose, a way to channel his trauma into something he can hold on to. Without this purpose, he would be left with nothing but his grief and helplessness. However, there is a darker side to this newfound drive. Eren's fixation on killing the Titans is consuming, blinding him to other perspectives and goals. His transformation, though powerful, is not purely redemptive. It hints at a future where this obsession could ultimately lead him down a path of self-destruction. His resolve to eradicate the Titans is both his strength and his potential undoing, suggesting that the line between resilience and obsession is often thin and fragile. The Titans' breach of the wall marks a transition for all the characters, from innocence to experience, from passive lives within the walls to active, survival-driven lives outside of them. Eren's rage and Mikasa's quiet resilience set them on paths that reflect the complexities of dealing with trauma, each embodying different survival strategies in response to a world that has revealed itself as hostile and chaotic. The episode doesn't just depict the tragedy of a single boy losing his mother, it is a broader meditation on humanity's confrontation with forces it cannot control. By thrusting its characters into this terrifying reality, the episode lays bare the essence of human survival, the instinct to fight, to protect, and to find meaning even when faced with forces that seem meaningless. Ultimately, this episode of Attack on Titan is a powerful reflection on what it means to live in a world filled with uncertainty, fear, and the potential for overwhelming loss. It reveals how trauma can reshape individuals, pushing them to seek purpose and meaning even as it consumes them. For Eren, the desire to fight the Titans becomes an identity, a purpose that transcends his grief. For Mikasa, resilience is not a choice but a necessity, a way to carry on even in the face of unimaginable horror. Together, their responses underscore the duality of trauma. It can destroy, but it can also inspire strength and resolve. However, the cost of that strength is high, and the episode leaves us with the haunting question of whether the human drive to survive might sometimes become a prison of its own making. In a world where safety is an illusion, and survival demands sacrifice, Attack on Titan invites us to reflect on the nature of resilience, the boundaries of control, and the courage required to confront the unknown.